Hey, welcome back to episode 2 of Learning to Talk, and today we have two goals. First off, we're gonna have to find some food because we currently in a barren wasteland of snow, so that's not quite helping the food situation. But two, I'd like to talk about the concept of kindness. So I think that might be a building over there. We'll probably check that out. In a Discord I'm in, there is a person that has called another person a kind person. However, they have never met in real life, and they've really only known each other for maybe a month or two. And to me, it seems odd to call someone kind when you do not know them to that extent, which urged me to talk about this concept of what makes a kind person. And I came to the conclusion that people are not inherently kind. I think that rather than being a kind person, you do kind things. Because it's sort of a. Oh no. Oh, that's Mojang's greatest feature they've ever added. Oh my god. But I believe it's a matter of perspective, in which you may call someone kind because they've done something kind towards you, but what about a person that they did not have a similar interaction with? Someone who could describe their interaction as unkind. Is this person no longer kind? Which leads me to believe that a person cannot be described as kind, only an act can be described as such. And this carries on into examples like Mr. Beast. He is a huge philanthropist. He spends million upon millions to give away millions upon millions. He's done things like curing blindness, I believe he's done curing deafness as a video. But there are a multitude of people who will say, he is not a kind person, he is an evil person, he is hiding behind this mask, and that it's all some sort of guise that he's hiding behind. So, is he a kind person or is he not? And my answer to that is that in social and moral standards, Mr. Beast is kind, but to particular individuals, he is not kind. But what does that mean? And I believe that sort of just goes back to the idea that kindness is not a characteristic, it is an act and a perspective that someone will have. Oh no. For example, that illager is not kind because he is attacking me. But perhaps to his friends, he's very nice. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he was a horrible person. Here, let me perform my own act of kindness here and free this iron golem. This extends to more examples of, let's say, celebrities. Let's say there is a celebrity in public who is trying to have a private time with their family and friends, but a fan comes up and tries to interact with them, tries to get an autograph or a picture, but this celebrity puts it off as they want to have their private time. This is not a time for them to be a public person. Now, for the fan, they'll say, never meet your heroes. That celebrity is a terrible, terrible person who does not appreciate their fans. Or they recorded it and now they published it to the internet, and people on the internet are saying, I always knew there was something fake about this celebrity. They have always ever seemed authentic. I'm glad I was never a fan of them. And yet, for the celebrity, to them, the fan is not a kind person because they do not respect the personal time of the celebrity. And so we have this weird standard now that because the celebrity was not selfless, they are no longer kind, and so they should always be kind, or else they will not be labeled as such. And that brings the idea, is selflessness kind? And to answer that, I'd say selflessness is kindness, but kindness is not always selflessness. As, let's say, a celebrity does PR. And to the person they were kind to for the PR, well, now they think this celebrity is such a nice person. They did all this just for me. But for... oh my god, I'm gonna die. I should really get out of here. That was troublesome. Oh my god, they're still following me. I sure hope I don't run into some amazing powder snow. That'd be real nice right about now. But even then, when a celebrity does something like this, there will still be criticism that they aren't kind, they're just doing this to seem kind. And so now we've created sort of a weird hypocritical cycle that, well, nobody is kind, but I'm still gonna call whoever I want kind. And so does it really matter anymore? Does it have any meaning left? And perhaps this entire conversation is purely semantics, or it doesn't have a real answer or meaning to think so deeply about. Oh no. But I believe that the person who created powdered snow was not a kind person. Is that it? I want to get to the top of that mountain. That might look like a pretty sight. But I still think it's an interesting topic to consider, even if you might say there is no real answer to this. And then there's also, what is kindness in the first place? If it's not always selfless, that might be described as you do something that has a positive impact upon another person. But what if you have an ulterior motive? You want to get something out of this person, or even with friendships. I believe that with all human interaction, there is always some sort of output you're looking for, some sort of result you're looking for from an interaction, even if it may not be immediate. As, let's say, a friend is kind to you, well, that friend is being kind to you because they want you to continue being kind to them and to continue being a friend to them. And I guess the final note I have is that some people may put too much emphasis on being a kind person. Perhaps people are too... what's the word? People are too focused on whether or not another person is kind rather than, well, their own personal life situation. Maybe it doesn't matter that much of how a person interacts with others. Which I guess you can throw that right back at me and tell me, why should I care so much if someone calls someone kind? But I'll deflect that for now. I think we've kind of reached our goals for today. Got some food, got iron for armor, talked about what I wanted to talk about. Here's a fun concept that maybe I will never return to this mountain again, but maybe I will by coincidence, and I'll find these old nomadic homes I've been building. I've been considering if I should keep traveling across this world or if I should create a base to live. I think maybe for the longevity of this series it would be easier to create a base, but that also depends on if I continue this series after I'm done with Minecraft. But I doubt I'd be done with talking about everything I've wanted to talk about after finishing Minecraft. So maybe I move on to a different game, but that's a distant future for now. I guess now that the moon is setting and the sun is rising, we can end off the video on the sunrise. Well, I guess we'll end this video the same way we ended the last